Hi everyone, it's Monica with Advice to Think Twice. I just wanted to do a little video doing like an unboxing slash walkthrough, and I got two decks to do. I was going to do one for the Muse Tarot, which I got yesterday, and it's absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, I forgot I was going to do an unboxing and I just went right in. But yeah, there's the Muse Tarot. And then I also have the Heaven and Earth Tarot that just arrived. I only took like the foil off, the film off. And I decided, well, you know what, I might as well just do both in one video. So that's what we're doing, okay? So we're going to start with the Muse Tarot. Now, the reason why, because I was thinking, you know what, I should have done like a live, you know, people could have joined in, maybe they have questions, it's easier for me to answer there and there. And then as I was trying to open the box, to put the cards in, because I wanted to show like two boxes with the cards in them and everything, I broke a nail, and then I had to spend half an hour fixing it, and it's just, anyone else do that? I mean, who does that? That's my life. That's what I do. Okay, so I'm so excited. These are absolutely, this one I've seen in person, this one I've just seen in other videos or people using it, and I thought it's absolutely stunning. But we're going to go through that one in just a second there. So we're going to start with the Muse Tarot. So it comes in this pretty little box. What I thought was so cute, it has like drawings in the box as well. So those little fish in there. And then there's like the front of the box, and then you've got the information on the side. And what I thought was so cool was it has this little quote here. I don't know if it's a quote or if this is something the author said. The author is Chris Ann, by the way. But it's gorgeous. You can pause the video and read the message. It's just, and I must admit, I wasn't drawn to this deck right away when I first saw someone using it. I wasn't drawn to it. I thought it's beautiful, art-wise. It's the shadow from my mic that you're going to see on my hands, but I can't do anything about it. It was beautiful art-wise. I don't know why. I didn't get, oh my god, I have to get it, you know? But then just all of a sudden one day I started thinking about it, and I started thinking about it and researching it and all that, and I ended up just buying it because I was so drawn to it. So you get the box, and with the box you get this little booklet, as you do, and it goes through each of the cards. You have like a good page and a half, I would say, for each card. For the majors, yeah, same thing. And you have your keywords, and for the full, for example, you have keywords, you have a prompt, and then the message behind the card, like telling you the story of the card, okay, explaining, you know, what's going on. And then you also have a little bit of, again, I don't know if it's a quote, it doesn't have an author there, but it's italicized, like advice. So for example, for the Fool, it says, fearlessly jump onto the sea of the cosmos, the spinning potentials are calling, maybe a little foolish today, yet better done fool-like than stalling. It's a little poem. It's really, really cute, really interesting, and it's, you have all the information in the book right there that you could possibly need. Let me see if she does, like, she does the acknowledgements. I wanted to see if there's like suggested spreads or anything like that. It's really cute. Like she has almost like a conversation between her and her muse as she did the deck. So I think that's really nice. And then you have your how to use the deck, and then it goes into the cards. And then speaking of the cards, it's a pretty sturdy deck. It's similar to the Lightseer's Tarot, which is also created by Chris Ann. And you can see it's similar. That's the first thing I noticed. I didn't even know, silly me, I didn't know it was the same author, the same creator of the deck. And I only saw the back of the cards, and I thought, it looks so similar to the Lightseer's Tarot, and then I realized, oh, hold on, yeah, she did both decks, so, okay, that makes sense. The colors are absolutely stunning. It's a pretty sturdy deck, like I say. It is very, very good card stock. So for like, say, for example, I got this deck here, and you can see in the difference in the width or the thickness. What do you call that? You know. And still 78 cards in each deck. You know, it's just, it's like double and then some in thickness. Lengthwise, it's pretty much the same as a usual tarot deck, as your common tarot deck. I'm gonna go through the cards. They're not in order because I went through them. I'm gonna go through the cards just to show you the cards. You can pause the video and look at them more closely. So you have your major arcanas, and then when it comes to the minor suits, you have voices for swords, you have inspiration for wands, you have emotions for cups, and materials for pentacles. So for example, the 9 of materials is the 9 of pentacles. 3 of emotions is the 3 of cups. And what I found interesting is that I think it's an old female deck, but as you know, with tarot it doesn't really matter the gender, depending on the reading and the spread and the particular situation. The kings are actually, the card is sideways compared to the rest of the deck. Okay, so this is like the typical card, yeah, upright, and the kings are like sideways. Instead of king of, it says muse of, so that's like the highest level, as it were. When you're a muse, you're at the highest level. And I thought that's really, really interesting. The artwork, guys, is just, I cannot talk about it enough. One of my favorite cards is the Queen of Swords. I'm just going to show you the cards right now, okay? Again, you can pause and get a closer look. And I'm sure you can find these cards online as well if you want to see them more closely. So that's the wheel. Speaking of, that's the Queen of Swords. Look at that. I mean, look at that. I hope my camera's doing it justice. It's probably not. The knights are horses. There's no other characters in the card. And I thought it's interesting because with swords, for example, yes, it represents the intellect, also represents speaking. So it's interesting that she chose voices for that, you know. Inspiration, absolutely one of the defining words of the Wands suit is inspiration. Same with emotions for cups. But, I mean, look at those images, guys. The colors, images, it's very easy to handle, very easy to shuffle. It's not particularly, it's not particularly glossy. You know how you have some cards that are very, very glossy? It's not particularly glossy. That's a Muse, so that's a king. But they are glossy enough that they shuffle very well, okay, if that makes sense. Just gorgeous. I mean, just, and there's a lot of little details. You could spend easily, you could spend an hour looking at a card and you can still find details and references. I mean, it's just, for example, every time I look at the cards, I see something else. You know what I mean? So, for example, with the the Knight of Materials, first time I looked at it, I saw this beautiful dark horse, and I saw the flowers. Now I'm seeing the beautiful succulent plant in the background, and it's making me think, you know, what do? They grow nice and easy, steadily. You don't have to water them too much. You don't have to do too much with them, but it's a nice and steady progress type thing. So it's very, very inspiring, for me anyway. I would so recommend getting this deck. Chariot. And it speaks to you on multiple levels. You have the colors inspiring you, you have the imagery inspiring you, you have with the imagery you have so many details in there, you know what I mean? So it's just amazing. It's an amazing deck, and you can do, I'm sure, and I'll be using it, amazing readings with it, because again, there's so many details in a particular card that every time you look at it, you see something different, you see something else, you see something extra you didn't see before. I mean, you know what I mean? And I think you can get a lot of use out of this deck. It's very versatile, it's what I want to say. So Awakening is the Judgment card. Hanged Muse is the Hanged Man. That's a Death card right there. It's just absolutely stunning. Priestess is the High Priestess. And I love how she's incorporated runes and everything. I think I've seen a reference to runes in the Light Seer's Tarot as well. The Magician is the Magician. That's the Empress. It's the image that's on the box and the booklet as well. Eight of Materials, Eight of Pentacles. It's just, I mean, I can't say enough. Two of Materials. The World Cosmos is the world. The Lovers. The Tower. The King of Swords. Right? Yeah, the Music Voices. It's interesting. I'm going to check the book to see. Let me do that right now. To see if she explains why they're sideways. It doesn't. So it doesn't give a particular reason why it's sideways. Maybe as I use them, I'll understand better. But since it's like the ultimate level, because kings are the ultimate level of their particular suit, I think maybe she wanted to highlight that, as it were. So there's a lot of flowers going on in the suit of in the Pentacle suit, so that's the material suit in this stack. So nice. Nine of Emotions, so Nine of Cups. We have a lot of fish. Look at that, Seven of Voices, Seven of Swords, all them foxes. You know, all about cleverness and sneakiness and all that. Six of Voices, it's so cool. It takes you to a different world. If you let it, you could get lost in a card. The moon, beautiful moon right there. Ace of inspiration. Muse of emotion, so the king of water, the king of cups. The queen of cups, look at that, queen of emotions. And again, because there's so much going on, every time you look at it, you get drawn to something else, and it tells you a different story. And that's just the card in itself. You combine it with another card, and possibilities are endless, really. It triggers, if I can say, your intuition so easily. You know, it gives you messages so easily. Emotions, or 5 of cups, 4, and the 10 of materials, 10 of pentacles. So, like I say, it's an absolutely gorgeous deck. If you are drawn to it, or you're considering getting it for yourself, I highly recommend. Is it suitable for a beginner? I would say probably not, just because it's very, very communicative if you already have the traditional meanings and the traditional symbols down pat, as it were. You know what I mean? If you're already familiar with the particular meanings of a particular card, then this is very communicative, and it adds to that and it develops that. For a beginner to start, for this to be someone's absolute first deck introduction to tarot, it could be overwhelming. I can see how it could be overwhelming, and I can see how probably it wouldn't be as easy to get the archetypes or the traditional symbols of a particular card, okay, if this was your absolute first deck. But like I say, for people who've been reading for a while or studying tarot for a while, it almost feels like it just opens up a whole new world to you. Okay, so I really look forward to using this deck. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to put it aside, and let's start on the Heaven and Earth Tarot. Let me just make some more room here. Right, so the Heaven and Earth Tarot is by Jack Sephiroth. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. And that's the box. It's by published by Los Carabeo. I have half my collection is probably Los Carabeo. Okay, so that's the box. It's like more of an unboxing, and I'm probably gonna hurt myself. So you have the little booklet. You have the deck in this foil thingy. Let me just try to get that off without hurting myself or the deck. Okay. Oh, I'm so happy, guys. I'm so happy. It's like it's Christmas. Better than Christmas. Right, okay. So, you have like the added card. It's not a tarot card, but the added card that comes with Los Carabeo decks. Typically, you have like 2. So, you have one at the back there telling you, follow Los Carabeo on Facebook and all that. And then the one at the front with the information, like the deck, the title of the deck, let's say, the name of the deck. Okay, so I usually use these as bookmarks because I don't want to throw them out because they still have beautiful art on them. And then we have the deck. So similar to the Muse, it's pretty sturdy. Okay, it's a pretty sturdy deck. The cards are very glossy. You can see they reflect the light very well. Pleasant to the touch. They are going to shuffle very well with them being glossy like that. Oh my god, you guys. So, I love the handwriting on the bottom. And then you have all sorts of symbols. So you have, for example, the sign of Aquarius, from what I can recognize. You have Uranus, the symbol of Uranus there, ruling the full energy. Then you have the element, like the air, and a couple of other things. Let's see if it explains these, or I have to research them by myself. So, yeah, you have Hebrew letter. There you go. So that is, if I can, I'm not going to show you this for all the cards, but just so you're aware. So that there is a Hebrew letter, and it symbolizes an ox, and that's the symbol right under it, if you can see. And the symbol of air is there as well, and Aquarius and Uranus, we've already seen that. So it's really interesting, because I find it very interesting, because you learn so much, and you make so many connections when you incorporate multiple possibilities for each card, multiple symbols from different faiths and all that. It again just creates different connections, you know, when you read with that card or that deck. So let's go through the deck. Let me show you the back first. Okay. And what it's on the darker side in terms of colors. It's still in color, it's not black and white, although you could mistake it for black and white, you know, until you look at it more closely. But it's just gorgeous. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And again, you find the symbols, the little tiny things in the card. Again, I think, you know, this would be okay to use for a beginner. I don't think it would be that overwhelming. But again, for those who have been reading for a while or studying tarot for a while, it again just opens, I've said again 3 times, but it just opens another realm of possibilities, you know what I mean? So let's see. I can see that they have named the cards as well, similar to like the Thoth deck. So for example, the Two of Wands is Dominion, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the title for the Two of Wands in the Thoth deck as well. And what else we have? The Nine of Wands is Great Strength, if that will focus. There you go. And then the different symbols. So you have the symbol for fire, for example, the moon there, and the sign of Sagittarius, the symbol for Sagittarius. So the Nine of Wands, bear with me, is the moon in Sagittarius. So that's really, really cool if you read like that, you know what I mean? So for example, the Six of Cups, it says pleasure at the bottom, and then you have the symbol for the sun, a little circle there, and the symbol for Scorpio, so the sun in Scorpio, and the symbol for water there, you know what I mean? So it just brings a lot to the table, okay? So that's the deck. Let me go through the little booklet, and then I'll do the walkthrough, like showing you the cards. So with Lo Scarabeo, as usual, you have like 4 different languages, or in this case 5 languages: English, Italian, Spanish, French, and Portuguese. So even though the booklet is that size, it's got the same content in 5 different languages. Okay, so let's see. The actual English bit is, yeah, about that big. Okay, and you have, I think it's a typical layout for Los Garabeo. So you have information about the deck. Oh, and it actually says, the artwork in this deck blends the images of the Waite-Smith system with the deeper occult wisdom of the Thoth deck. Isn't that cool? And then information on how you read with the deck. And then it goes into the major arcana. With the major arcana, you have the description of what's going on in each card. You have a keyword, Hebrew letter, correspondence in terms of signs or planets and elements, and then meaning upright, a few keywords, and meaning reversed, a few keywords, and you have that for all the cards. There's no images or anything like that, just the messages. And using the cards, kind of, you know, how to get ready for a reading, set your intention, that kind of thing, how to ask questions. And then you have suggested spreads, where will you go and what do you need, for example, and it's just a 4-card spread. It tells you how to do it, the meanings. As above, so below spread. Yeah, and that's about it. So really nice, very interesting. I love the symbolism. I love how they combined the symbolism of 2 different systems, and it's just gorgeous. Again, I'm going to show you the cards one by one. You want to look at it more closely, pause the video, and again, I'm sure you can find these images online as well. And these will be in order because I've just opened the deck. So the full Magician, look at that. It's just, you guys. My Priestess, the Empress. I can't even. The Emperor. Hierophant. Nullars. Chariot. So the strength is number 8, justice is 11, if that is something that you look for. In some decks they're reversed. Oh, look at that Wheel of Fortune. It's just, oh my god. Justice. The Hangman, look at that Hangman. And you have, again, because if you combine the symbolism, you have like the Ankh there. It's that little Egyptian cross, some people call it, and stuff like that. But and then you have the different symbols, and it's just death. Look at that death card. Because they combined the symbolism, and I assume the author added his touch as well with, you know, what things he wanted to highlight and symbols to introduce in particular cards. It's just, a card, again, can tell so many stories. It can just, you can, again, spend hours and hours on a card, analyzing it or talking about it. The Tower. Moon. The Sun. And again, you see what I mean by, you know, when I say it's a little bit on the darker side, like usually in the Sun card you see all sorts of yellow shades, you know, because it's light and it's the sun. Whereas here, not that much yellow is there. You still have the sunflower, so you still have the symbols, but just from a color perspective. World. Ace of Cups. Two of Cups. And it says love on the bottom. The Three of Cups says abundance. Blended pleasure for the Four of Cups. Loss and pleasure for the Five of Cups. Again, some of these descriptions are similar, are what they are in the Thoth deck. Others are not. I remember pleasure, I think, is the same in the Thoth deck. Illusionary success is the Seven of Cups. Interesting. Abandoned success, 58. It's just it's an absolutely gorgeous deck, guys. Ten of Cups. Queen of Cups. King of Cups. So the court cards are pages are princess, knights are knights, queens are queens, kings are kings. Ace of Pentacles. So cool. Two of Pentacles. And this is Harmonious Change, titled. And the Three. And the Four. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting that, again, you can just, it's worthy of study. The Ten of Pentacles, you can see the Tree of Life there. The Princess of Pentacles, so the Page. The Knight. And the Queen. And the King. Ace of Wands. It's almost like the colors are faded, so you can see it's a red color, but it's a faded red color. Perfected work, the Four of Wands. The Five of Wands is strife. I think it's the same in the Thoth. Six is victory. Seven. 8, 9, 10 of Wands is oppression. Look at that Page. The Knight. So the kings and queens have thrones. Because I was going to say, I wonder if you can mistake the page for the queen. But kings and queens sit on thrones. So you can't really, if you go too fast or you're not too familiar with the deck or whatever, and you see a woman in the card and she's in a very, you know, empowered kind of position, let's say, maybe you can get confused, but that's something to look for. You know, if it's a throne, she's a queen. If there's no throne, she's probably a page. King of Wands, well, he's not in a throne, he's in a chariot type looking thing. Ace of Swords. The Two of Swords is peace, which can be one of the interpretations. Three of Swords, sorrow. 4. 5 is defeat. 6. 7. And this one is called unstable effort. Interesting. Shortened force for the 8 of swords. Very, very interesting, guys. Despair and cruelty for the 9. Ruin for the 10 of swords. I believe that's the same in the Toth. Princess of Swords, or the Page of Swords. The Knight. The Queen on her throne. And the King in his little chariot looking thing. Okay. It's very interesting, and you have like symbols. So you have the main image, yeah, and then you have the little symbols, like the pentacle looking things, the star looking things, you know, on the angels, and then you have the different types of wings, and then you have an angel in the background there that's kind of faded. So it's almost like, you know, you look at it, you get the initial message that's right there in your face, but then if you open up to the card, it just keeps showing you more and more. You know what I mean? So very, very nice. Very, very nice. Beautiful deck. Beautiful imagery, even though it's, you know, pretty much similar to the traditional Rider-Waite. So you kind of know the symbols already. You kind of know the images already. They are just gorgeous. They're just gorgeous. And Queen of Swords is holding a severed head, which I believe is the image portrait in the Toth deck as well. So it's very nice to see how they have blended very beautifully the two systems, let's call them, the Rider-Waite and the Toth. I would say they're very, very successful in how they blended them. But definitely would recommend this deck, this and the Muse Tarot. They're just absolutely gorgeous. Very, very different, as you can see. Very different, but just gorgeous, just beautiful in their own right, and very, very communicative. Should you wish to learn, they're very expressive. Okay. So guys, awesome decks. I've shown you my new decks, and I'm so happy to have added these to my collection. They're just gorgeous. Okay, they're just truly gorgeous, and I look forward to working with them. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed the walkthrough. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll try my best to answer them. As I say, I've just got them. I haven't worked with them yet. So I myself am still studying them as well, but we can learn together, okay? And if you have these decks and you've observed certain things, because each deck has their own little quirk, you know what I mean? Or that's what I found anyway. So if anything stands out for you, as you have used these decks, comment down below, let us know. If you have any advice or recommendations on how to best use them to get the most out of them, whatever your thoughts are on them, just let me know, okay? So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining. Thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. I really appreciate all the support, and I hope that if you were on the fence about getting these decks, I hope this just pushes you over the edge into, yeah, go get it, okay? Because they're definitely worth it. Alright, they're definitely worth it. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Hope you've enjoyed and hope you find this useful. And I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye for now.